our fans are clamoring for us and dying for us to talk about this. We were unfortunately not able to talk about the Denver Broncos Seattle Seahawks trade on Wednesday's show. So we're here tonight to do so. The Seattle Seahawks, if you live under a rock, got rid of and dealt away Russell Wilson and got a whole hell of a lot. You see it here. First round picks, second round picks, fifth round picks. Noah Fant, Shelby Harris, Drew Lock. A massive haul for the Seattle Seahawks. In return, the Broncos get Russell Wilson and a 2022 fourth round pick. When this deal popped up on your Twitter feed, Aaron, what was going through your mind?
Shock, because you don't see big time quarterbacks getting traded in the NFL. So I was shocked because of that. But when we got the news of Aaron Rodgers, I knew Denver was going to have to do something to bring that quarterback position back to where they want it. And this is very similar to when they brought in Peyton Manning, right? A veteran quarterback who they feel can take them and lead them to a championship. Russell Wilson, to me, is the guy for Denver. You can talk about the Aaron Rodgers and how that would have fit there with Nathaniel Hackett and the familiarity and how good that would have been. But I kind of like the Russell Wilson fit here. I like the Russell Wilson fit with Javonte Williams. I like the Russell Wilson fit with the type of weapons they have on the outside. They got a guy in Jerry Jeudy who's a route running technician. And then they got big play guys like Cortland Sutton and then Tim Patrick has signed a new contract. So they got weapons. They like Albert O as a tight end, which is why they were able to move on from a Noah Fant. And then their offensive line starting to come together. They can add a little bit of pieces there. And you already know they had one of the top defenses last year when they were playing. So I like the fit here with Russell Wilson. And I also like it for Seattle. I think Seattle got the right price for him. I think it was time for them to move on. And everybody's talking about Denver's going all in. Denver's going all in. Well, yeah, every team that acquires a probably future Hall of Fame, all-pro quarterback is going all in. These teams don't want to sit here and pay this quarterback all this money and not be trying to win Super Bowls. So when teams are saying they sold the farm, well, yeah, of course they sold the farm for him because they are trying to win now in the next 2 or 3 years. And is it going to work? Maybe not. Maybe they don't win a Super Bowl because they got the Chargers and the Raiders and the Chiefs there. But it's something that they had to do with the team that they have constructed right now, their cap space, their ability to maneuver because they've got good young players that they haven't paid yet. I think it's the right time for them. Good for them. They're making a move, and I think it's going to work.
Yeah,
I'm not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl, but
no.
I do think it's going to work in being successful where they haven't been over the past few years.
Do you think that there's that? I hate asking this question, but I'm going to ask it anyways. Do you think if Russell Wilson doesn't win a Super Bowl in Denver, I don't want to say his resume, but his resume do you think it gets a little tarnished because we're now in the reality of you go to a new team. I mean, you saw it with Stafford, you saw it with Tom Brady. Originally, it happened with Peyton Manning with the Denver Broncos team. If Russell Wilson can't get that Super Bowl ring here in Denver, how does that affect Russell Wilson's legacy?
I think it depends. I don't think it's about the ring. I said this over and over. Getting a ring is hard, right? One team wins it a year. So there's going to be some quarterbacks that are really great that don't win. I think it's about making them relevant. So Russell Wilson's 32 years old, 33 years old. He could play another 7-8 years in this league. If he takes Denver to AFC championship games, maybe gets to a Super Bowl, but ultimately just doesn't win one, I don't think we're questioning the greatness of Russell Wilson. I think he's still going to be considered a great quarterback. To me, it's more about, can you find that consistency within an organization that hasn't been very good since Peyton Manning left and hasn't been able to find a quarterback. So if they're in the playoffs every year and they're fighting and they're in contention, I think that's what we're looking for, and give them opportunities to perhaps win a Super Bowl. To me, that means more than just, I went to a Super Bowl 1 year, I won it, and then you're not good for 5 years. To me, I'd rather have the consistency, and I think that's what Russell Wilson's going to do. We're talking about a guy who's had one losing season his entire career, who's had one other season where he didn't win double-digit games. He is a winner, and regardless of whether you like him or not, I think he's going to win in Denver.
I'll ask one last question. It's a very simple question. We're going to be we're going to be going into a lot of fantasy coverage in the coming weeks of this off season. Who is impacted the most in this entire deal? Even on the Seattle side, even on the Denver. Give me one from Denver. Give me one from Seattle. Impacted the most.
Currently constructed right now, the biggest person that's impacted is Tyler Lockett. And I say that because Tyler Lockett and Russell Wilson had a connection that is not like most. You bring in another good quarterback, you can find it. The way Russell Wilson throws the deep ball, the way Tyler Lockett adjusted to those deep balls, I think his value takes a tremendous hit as it stands right now, barring, them getting a quarterback. And on the Denver side of the football, you're looking at those wideouts, all of them. Jerry Jeudy, barring health, should be a man.
Jerry Jeudy with Russell Wilson will be a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL.
He very well could be. That is very true. I like Jerry Jeudy. And then you still have the big playmaking of a Cortland Sutton when Russell Wilson, who has a great deep ball. I wanted to bring something up, though, before we move on, just because I think it's appropriate. I've been seeing a lot of news, and everybody's been ranking the quarterbacks now in that division, and they've been ranking it, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Russell Wilson, and Derek Carr.
Yep.
And I've seen that's pretty much the order everybody's had. And I just want to tell everybody they're wrong. The people that are putting Justin Herbert right now ahead of Russell Wilson it blows my mind why they would do that. And I get it because of last year and the flashiness in which he's done it. But I want to throw out some numbers, and I wrote them down, so I'm going to read. This is the comparison we are making for a guy who we now say is third in the division. Russell Wilson is 104 at 53-1 all-time record. Justin Herbert's 15-17. In 2020, Russell Wilson, in 558 attempts, threw for 4,000 yards and 40 touchdowns. Justin Herbert last year, his best year, he had 672 attempts, which is over 100 more. He threw for 5,000 yards, but only 38 touchdowns. Twice in his career, Justin Herbert is throwing double-digit interceptions both years. Russell Wilson's done that 4 times in his 10-year career, or 8-year career. 4 times in his 9-year career. Quarterback rating, last 4 years, Russell Wilson's been over 100. Justin Herbert's never had 100 quarterback rating, and they're both around 65, 66% completion percentage. We need to stop with comparing Justin Herbert, putting Justin Herbert above Russell Wilson right now. Justin Herbert's had 2 good years for a young quarterback, but I'm sorry, he's closer to Derek Carr than he is to Russell Wilson. And in my order, it's obviously Mahomes, it's Russell Wilson, it's Justin Herbert, and Derek Carr is right there. And the reason I give it to Herbert, obviously, is because he throws far more touchdowns than Derek Carr. But even those numbers, Derek Carr's numbers are very close to Justin Herbert's outside of the touchdown numbers. I think we're getting in love with the shiny new toy, and we need to go back and think about what Russell Wilson has really done in this league, besides last year when he was hurt and, obviously things didn't go his way.
And something that really caught my eye here, and it's maybe not caught my eyes in a good thing, but Russell Wilson is only 33 years old. Like in today's
NFL, that's your prime. As a quarterback.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it feels like Russell Wilson has been in the NFL for a long time. We've seen a lot of Russell Wilson. I mean, we've seen him in Super Bowls. We've seen him go through a lot. And we talk about him in the same sense of like a Rodgers or a Brady. Like when we group those quarterbacks together, Russell Wilson is normally thrown in that conversation of like these older veteran quarterbacks, and he's only 33 years old. So it's like there is still so much left of Russell Wilson that we're going to see in a Denver Broncos uniform now. So
he's younger than Matt Stafford. So he's younger than Matt Stafford, who just went to a new team and won the Super Bowl. Yep. And now you're bringing in Russell Wilson, who's accomplished more than Matt Stafford. And he's going to a new team that very well could be in contention for a Super Bowl next year. I just think that was a great fit for Denver and good for them.
Yeah, very good move.